Good evening, everyone. Give me 15 minutes, just 15. And I promise you, by the time I'm done speaking, you won't just walk out of here. You'll stride out. You won't just speak. You'll declare. You won't just believe. You'll declare. You won't just believe. You'll know. Because confidence isn't born in comfort zones. It's forged in fire. I'm not talking about the kind of confidence that gets you a few compliments at a networking event. I'm talking about the kind that scares your doubt, silences your critics, and makes hell nervous when your feet hit the floor in the morning. Anto, you've been playing small for too long, apologizing for your brilliance, hiding your roar behind polite smiles. But I came to tell you, the world doesn't need a quieter version of you. It needs the real you. The full, bold, purpose-driven, no apology. Light it up, you. Light it up, you. You see, confidence isn't the absence of fear. It's the refusal to be ruled by it. It's standing up when you're trembling. It's speaking up when your voice shakes. It's showing up when the enemy whispered, stay home. And the reason you've been second-guessing yourself is because you've been listening to people who never had the courage to chase their own destiny. You were not born to blend in. You were not created to be overlooked. You've got too much oil on your life, too much favor in your future, and too much fire in your spirit to be living halfway. This is your season to stand tall, to reclaim what was stolen, to step into rooms you once felt unworthy of. Dangerous confidence isn't about arrogance. It's about alignment. It's about alignment. When you know who you are and whose you are, nothing can intimidate you. So go ahead, fix your crown, step out like you mean it. Speak like the future depends on it. 'Cause it does. You don't need permission to be powerful. Oh. You just need to remember, the lion doesn't ask the sheep if it's okay to roar. Give me 15 minutes, and I'll awaken the fire that's been buried beneath fear, doubt, and delay. Walk out of here dangerously confident and watch the world make way. Confidence doesn't come from always winning. It doesn't grow from a life where everything is easy. It doesn't show up just because someone tells you you're great or pats you on the back. It is created when you are challenged, pushed, tested, and even broken. It's not born in the good times. It is born in the struggle. Think about it. If you never had to face anything difficult, how would you ever know how strong you are? If you never failed, how would you learn to stand up again? Confidence is not built when you avoid pain. It's built when you walk through it and come out stronger on the other side. When you're sitting in comfort, there is no reason to grow. If everything is going right, if nothing is testing you, you might feel relaxed. But that's not the same as being confident. Relax is temporary. It lasts as long as everything is perfect. But confidence is different. Confidence doesn't disappear when things get hard. In fact, that's when it shows up the strongest. Think of people who have great confidence. They didn't get there by skipping the hard stuff. They've faced rejection. They've been laughed at. They've been told they're not enough. They've fallen flat on their faces and had to try again. And because they made it through all of that, they know they can survive it again. That's what gives them confidence. Not that everything goes right, but that they can handle it when things go wrong. Sometimes we think confidence is something you either have or don't have, but that's not true. It's something you build like a muscle. And just like a muscle, you don't build it by sitting still. You build it by lifting weight. You build it by pushing against resistance. And sometimes that resistance looks like pain. It looks like fear. It looks like failing a test, losing a job, getting turned down, going through heartbreak, standing alone, struggling in silence. That's where it grows. You may not feel it in the moment. In fact, when you're in the middle of adversity, you probably feel weak. You feel unsure. You may cry. You may want to quit. You might even think you're not making any progress at all. But later, when you come out of it, you'll look back and realize, that's where I got my strength. Not the easy days, the hard ones. That's where the confidence was born. Adversity shows you what you're made of. It teaches you what books and lectures cannot. It gives you lessons that can't be taught in a classroom. It makes you tougher, more focused. It strips away the parts of you that don't serve your growth. It teaches you how to stand up for yourself, how to speak up, how to speak up, how to keep moving when everything in you wants to sit down. There's something powerful about knowing you've been through something hard and survived. That kind of knowing doesn't come from words, it comes from experience. When you've been in the storm and made it through, you don't need someone else to tell you you're strong. You know you are. That's real confidence. And it's dangerous, not because it hurts people, but because it can't be shaken. people with that kind of confidence can't be manipulated. They don't fold under pressure. They don't run from hard times. They've already been through fire and come out with something that can't be taken away. Comfort, on the other hand, can lie to you, can make you feel safe while secretly making you soft. When you're too comfortable for too long, you start to fear change. You start to resist growth. You start to think small. You don't challenge yourself because you're afraid to lose what you already have. But the truth is, growth always demands something from you. It asks you to stretch, to leave something behind, to walk into something new, even when it's uncomfortable. Most people avoid adversity because they're scared of what they'll lose. But what if you saw adversity as something you could gain from? What if you saw it as training, as preparation? What if you saw every challenge as an invitation to grow stronger? That's when everything changes. You stop being afraid of hard times. You stop running from failure. You stop depending on other people to give you confidence. Because now you understand, confidence is something you earn. You earn it when you speak up, even when your voice shakes. You earn it when you try again, even after you fall. You earn it when you show up, even when you're afraid. You earn it every time you face something that could have broken you. And you don't let it. If you're in a hard place right now, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not getting weaker. You are getting stronger. Even if it doesn't feel like it. Even if no one sees it. Even if you cry yourself to sleep. You are learning how to rise. You are learning how to trust yourself. Nanku, to trust yourself. You are learning how to carry pain and still keep going. And that is where real confidence comes from. One day you'll walk into a room with your head held high. Not because someone told you you're great, but because you remember the nights you thought you wouldn't make it. And you did, and you did. You'll face things others run from, not because you're fearless, but because you've already faced worse and survived. You'll stop second-guessing yourself, not because you're perfect, but because you finally believe in your own strength. So don't curse the struggle. Don't hate the adversity. It's uncomfortable, yes. It's painful, yes. But it's also powerful, because it's making you into someone who doesn't just survive life, but leads it, commands it, owns it. And that kind of person is not just confident. They're dangerously confident. Not dangerous to others, but dangerous to fear, doubt, shame, and insecurity. Because they've been through it, and they've come out on fire. So keep going, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Because right now in the fire, your confidence is being forged. And when you come out of it, you won't just be stronger. You'll be unstoppable. You were not born to be silent. You were not created to hide in the shadows or to be a smaller version of yourself, just to make others comfortable. You were designed with purpose, with passion, and with a unique voice that only you carry. There's something inside of you that no one else has. A way of seeing the world. A way of loving, thinking, creating, and leading that belongs only to you. And the world is waiting on it. The world is waiting on it. The world needs it. The world needs you fully, completely, unapologetically. But too often we hold back. We shrink ourselves. We walk into rooms and wonder if we belong. We quiet our opinions so we don't upset anyone. We change who we are to fit in. We dim our light so that others don't feel uncomfortable around us. And over time, we start to believe that maybe we're supposed to be quiet. Maybe we're supposed to play small. Maybe we're too much. Maybe we're not enough. But let me tell you the truth. You were never meant to be anyone but you. You don't need to ask permission to exist fully. You don't need to apologize for the space you take up. You don't need to hide your joy, your ideas, your love, or your voice. The world doesn't benefit when you hold back. It benefits when you show up, when you speak from your heart, when you walk in your truth. When you stop performing and start living honestly. There are people in this world who are waiting for you to show up just as you are. People who need your wisdom. People who need your smile. People who need your story. You may not think your life matters much, but it does. More than you know. More than you know. That dream in your heart, that message in your soul, that gift in your hands. It's not random. It's not by accident. It was placed there on purpose, for a purpose. And it's not just for you. It's for others too. When you show up as your full self, you give others permission to do the same. You become a light. You become a mirror that shows others that it's okay to be real, that it's okay to be bold, that it's okay to be different. We need more of that. We live in a world that tries to make everyone the same. A world that tells people how to look, how to talk, how to act, how to dress. But your power is in what makes you different, not in your ability to blend in, but in your willingness to stand out. Some people won't understand you. Some people will judge you. That's okay. It's not your job to make everyone comfortable. It's your job to be real. To be kind, yes, but not silent. To be respectful, yes, but not hidden. Don't trade your identity for approval. Don't quiet your voice to earn a seat at someone else's table. Build your own table, and then invite others to it. Being unapologetically yourself doesn't mean being arrogant or rude. It means being honest. It means telling the truth about who you are and what matters to you. It means living from your values, not from fear. It means letting your heart lead, even when your hands shake. It means trusting that who you are is enough. We live in a noisy world. A world that constantly tries to distract us, shape us, sell to, and even silence us. But even in all that noise, there's still room for your voice. There's still a need for your story. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not too broken. You are not too loud, too soft, too anything. You are exactly who you need to be. You just need to show up. And I know it's hard. I know it's scary. It takes courage to be seen. It takes strength to be vulnerable. It takes faith to be different. But it's worth it. Every time you show up fully, something powerful happens. You feel alive. You feel aligned. You feel free. And that freedom is contagious. It inspires others. It wakes people up. It breaks chains. Maybe you've been through things that made you hide. Maybe you were told to be quiet. Maybe you were laughed at or misunderstood. Maybe you got hurt when you showed your true self. That pain is real, but don't let it make you disappear. You've come too far. You've survived too much. Your story didn't end. It's still being written. And the next chapter, it's about you rising. It's about you reclaiming your voice. It's about you stepping forward, not with fear, but with fire. There's no reward in playing small. There is no victory in pretending. Life is too short to spend it trying to be someone you're not. Be the kind of person who walks into a room and changes the energy. Not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because you're walking in truth. Be the kind of person who lives without regret, who speaks with love, who loves with honesty, and who shows up fully. When you live unapologetically, some people will not like it. Some people will talk. That's okay. Let them. You're not living for their comfort. You're living for your calling. And your calling is too important to stay quiet. Your presence matters, not just your physical presence, but your full emotional, mental, and spiritual presence. The world needs it. We need your ideas. Your art, your leadership, your laughter, your energy, your creativity, your heart. We need all of it. Don't hold back because you're afraid. Don't water yourself down because you're unsure. Just be you. Fully, boldly, completely you. Because when you do, the right people will find you. The right doors will open, and the right kind of peace will come. Not because everything is perfect, but because you're finally living in alignment with who you were created to be. You don't owe the world a version of you that's been edited to please everyone. You owe the world your truth. And once you give it, once you really show up, the world will never be the same because no one else can bring what you bring. No one else can be who you are. And once you understand that, you stop apologizing for existing. You start walking with your head high, your heart open, and your light shining, shining. Oh, it's it ain't. So let the world see you. Not the version of you that you think they want. The real you. The full you. The unfiltered, unshaken, undeniable you. That's the you we've been waiting for. Confidence is not about being fearless. Many people think that when you're confident, you're never scared. They imagine confident people walk through life without any doubts or fears. But that's not true. Even the most confident person feels fear sometimes. The difference is that confidence doesn't mean fear goes away. It means you learn how to face fear and keep moving anyway. It's not the absence of fear. It's the decision not to let fear stop you. Fear is a natural part of being human. It shows up when you try something new, when you speak in front of others, when you take a risk, when you chase a dream, or when you step into the unknown. Your heart beats faster. Your palms get sweaty. Your mind starts thinking of everything that could go wrong. That's fear trying to protect you. But sometimes fear doesn't know the difference between danger and growth. It tries to stop you even when you're doing something good for your life. Confidence is what allows you to feel the fear but still take action. It's what helps you say, yes, I'm afraid, but I'm going to do this anyway. It's not that you stop letting fear be the driver. You stop letting it be the boss of your decisions. You hear it, you feel it, but you don't obey it. When people are just starting out on their journey to become confident, they often wait for fear to go away before they act. They say things like, I'll speak up when I'm not nervous anymore, or I'll go after my dream when I feel more ready. Oh, more ready. But that day rarely comes. Waiting for fear to vanish keeps you stuck. Because fear doesn't leave before you take the step. It leaves after you do. Confidence grows when you act in spite of fear, not before. Think about the people who inspire you. The ones who stand strong, speak clearly, lead with passion, or create beautiful things. Do you really think they never felt fear? Of course they did. They just didn't let fear decide their future. They took the stage with a pounding heart. They started the business, even with doubts. Stood up for themselves even when their voice trembled. They weren't fearless. They were brave. And bravery is what confidence looks like in action. Mastering fear doesn't mean you never feel it again. It means you learn how to carry it without letting it carry you. It means you recognize fear when it shows up and you say, I see you, I hear you, but you're not in charge anymore. And then you take the step anyway. Over time, the more you do this, the stronger you get. Every time you act in the face of fear, you teach yourself a lesson, that you are stronger than what scares you. You build trust with yourself. You begin to believe deep down that you can handle more than you thought. That belief becomes confidence, and that confidence becomes power. But this kind of growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens when you challenge yourself. When you say yes to the thing that scares you. When you take the risk, make the call, raise your hand, share your idea, or walk away from what no longer serves you. Each time you do something hard, your fear might shout, but your courage gets louder. And one day you look back and realize, you don't panic in situations that used to terrify you. You don't run away when things get tough. That's what mastering fear looks like. You don't have to be perfect to be confident. You don't have to know everything or have all the answers. You just need to believe that you can figure things out. You need to trust yourself enough to take the first step, even if your hands shake, even if your hands shake, even if your knees feel weak. You move anyway. Sometimes the people around you won't understand. They might say, why are you doing that? Aren't you scared? And your answer might be, yes, I am, but I'm doing it anyway. And that's more powerful than pretending to be fearless. That's real strength. That's real strength. That's real confidence. Not acting like nothing scares you, but refusing to let fear be the reason you stop. You'll have moments where fear tries to talk you out of everything. It'll say, what if you fail? What if people laugh at you? What if you mess up? But what if you succeed? What if you grow? What if you become stronger, wiser, and braver because you tried? Don't let fear control the conversation. Confidence means giving hope and courage a voice, too. Sometimes fear shows up in disguise. It shows up as overthinking, procrastination, or excuses. It whispers, it's not the right time. Or you're not good enough yet. But deep down, you know when fear is holding you back. That's when confidence invites you to take a different path, to step forward instead of stepping back. The truth is, you don't get confidence first and then take action. You take action first, and that's what builds confidence. Every time you step forward, you break fear's grip. And little by little, you become someone who doesn't just survive fear, but rises above it. Some of the most confident people in the world are not fearless. They are people who have learned how to manage fear. They feel it, but they don't feed it. They hear it, but they don't obey it. They walk through it, and they grow stronger on the other side. If you're waiting for fear to go away, stop waiting. Start moving. Speak even if your voice shakes. Try even if you're scared. Say yes to the thing that excites you and scares you. That's where the magic happens. That's where confidence grows. You don't need to be fearless to be powerful. You just need to be willing to move forward anyway. Mastering fear is not a one-time event. It's a daily practice. It's choosing, again and again, to trust yourself more than you trust your doubts. It's choosing courage over comfort, action over avoidance, and growth over fear. And in time, what once scared you will no longer have power over you. Because you'll have something stronger. Belief in yourself. And that belief, that steady quiet knowing that you can face anything, is what real confidence is all about. There is something special inside of you. A dream, a vision, a calling. You may not know exactly how it will unfold or where the road will lead, but deep down you feel it. You were made for something more. Something bigger. Something meaningful. That feeling is not a mistake. It is the beginning of your destiny. But as soon as you start to dream, something else happens. People start talking. They question your ideas. They point out everything that could go wrong. They remind you of your past, your failures, your mistakes. They tell you that you're dreaming too big, aiming too high, or moving too fast. They don't see what you see. And because they don't see it, they try to shrink it. These are what we call small minds. That doesn't mean these people are bad. It means they don't have the capacity to understand the size of your calling. They're used to playing it safe. They're comfortable staying where they are. They build a life around fear, not faith. And so, when they see someone daring to believe in more, it makes them uncomfortable. Maybe it's better to stay where it's safe, where it's quiet, where no one criticizes you. And just like that, you trade your destiny for their approval. But your destiny is not up for debate. It's not something small minds get to vote on. You don't need a crowd's permission to walk the path meant for you. You need courage. You need focus. You need faith. The truth is, not everyone will understand your vision, and they're not supposed to. It wasn't given to them. It was given to you. You have to learn to protect your dreams. How, sir? Nurture them. Build them in silence if you have to. Stop telling big dreams to people who only know small thinking. Stop expecting those who gave up on their goals to support you in chasing yours. Not everyone who's around you is for you. Some people are sent to distract you, not to develop you. It's easy to be discouraged when you hear criticism. It hurts when people doubt you, especially if they're close to you. Family, friends, people you thought would cheer for you. But sometimes the ones closest to you are the first to misunderstand you. They see the old version of you. They remember your failures. They can't imagine you changing because it would force them to change how they see you. And not everyone is willing to do that. But you don't have to stay in the box they built for you. You can grow beyond it. You can outgrow their expectations. You can become someone they never imagined. That's what destiny does. It stretches you. It pushes you. It calls you higher. It pulls you out of comfort and into courage. And courage isn't about being loud or flashy. Sometimes courage is quiet. Sometimes it's just refusing to quit when it would be easier to give up. Sometimes it's continuing to build when no one claps for you. Sometimes it's trusting your vision when you're the only one who sees it. You have a choice. You can live your life trying to please small minds, or you can follow your destiny. You can stay safe and be liked, or you can be bold and live on purpose. But you can't do both. Big dreams will always attract big challenges, but they'll also attract big growth, big breakthroughs, and big blessings. When you start walking toward your destiny, the road won't always be easy. There will be doubts. There will be setbacks. But don't let those things make you turn around. Remember why you started. Remember the fire in your heart. Remember the feeling you had when you knew there was more to your life than what you've seen so far. Sometimes you have to walk alone. You're wrong, but because you're early, because your destiny is still unfolding, because the right people haven't caught up yet. Keep walking anyway. The ones who are meant to walk with you will find you. But don't stop walking just because someone else doesn't understand your path. Your future is too important to be shaped by small opinions. Your vision is too valuable to be put on hold for someone else's comfort. Your life is your responsibility. You can't let someone else's fear become your limitation. You can't let someone else's doubts silence your voice. The world needs your dream. It needs your ideas, your leadership, your story, your light. Don't bury it because someone else couldn't see it. Don't water it down to fit into places that were never built to hold your greatness. Be bold. Be faithful. Be relentless. The world may not see it yet, but one day they will. One day, the same people who doubted you will watch you rise. And not because you proved them wrong, but because you stayed true to what was right for you. Let their doubt fuel your fire. Let their small talk remind you how big your purpose is. Use it not to get bitter, but to get better. Use it to sharpen your focus, to stretch your faith, to dig your roots deeper. Every step you take in the direction of your destiny makes you stronger, wiser, and more prepared. So stop letting small minds talk you out of a big destiny. They don't get to decide what's possible for you. They don't know the battles you've fought, the prayers you've whispered, the dreams you've carried. They don't see what's inside of you, but you do. And that's enough. Keep dreaming, keep building, keep rising. The world may not be ready for you yet, but that's not your problem. You weren't made to fit in, you were made to lead, to create, to inspire. So go ahead, lie boldly, speak clearly, love deeply, dream wildly, and never again let a small mind shrink the size of your destiny. You may not always feel it, you may not always see it. But the truth is this: you are anointed, favored, and fully equipped for the journey you are on. You are not here by accident. You didn't just show up in this world with nothing to offer. You came with purpose. You came with power. You came with something the world needs. Sometimes life will try to convince you otherwise. You'll face setbacks. You'll experience rejection. You'll go through seasons where nothing makes sense and you start to wonder if you've been forgotten. But even in those moments, your value doesn't disappear. Your purpose doesn't vanish. The power planet in you doesn't die just because things get hard. In fact, it's often in the hard times that the truth about who you are starts to show. You are anointed. That means you have been chosen, marked, set apart. There is something on your life that cannot be explained by talent alone. It's deeper than skills. It's bigger than your background. It's stronger than your weakness. It is not something you earned. It's something that was placed on you. You were born with a call. And no matter what you've been through, that call is still alive. Being anointed doesn't mean everything comes easy. It doesn't mean you never cry or feel lost. It means you have been given a divine strength to keep going when others quit. You have a purpose that cannot be stolen. No matter what comes against you, you may fall, but you will rise again. You may get tired, but you are not empty. You have a fire inside of you that trials cannot put out. You are favored. That means there's grace over your life. Doors will open for you that you didn't have the power to open yourself. People will show up to help you when you least expect it. Opportunities will find you even in dry places. Favor is not about everything going perfectly. It's about knowing that even when things go wrong, something greater is working for your good. Some people may wonder why you're still standing after all you've faced. They may look at your life and not understand how you keep pushing forward. That's favor. It's not about what others see. It's about what's been promised over your life. Favor doesn't always look flashy. Sometimes favor looks like peace in the middle of a storm. It looks like strength when you should be broken. It looks like hope when the world says give up. And you are fully equipped. That means everything you need to face this life is already inside of you. You may not feel ready. You may think you're lacking. But what you carry is enough. You don't have to wait for someone else to validate you. You don't have to compare your journey to anyone else's. You don't have to borrow someone else's voice or story. Yours is powerful. Yours is needed. You were built for this. You were wired for your calling. The gifts you have, the voice you carry, the way you think, the passion in your heart. It was all given to you on purpose. Nothing is wasted. Even your pain has purpose. Even your past plays a role in shaping your strength. The experiences you've had, both good and bad, are tools you can use to help others, to grow, and to move forward. There will be moments when you question yourself. That's okay. We all do. But don't stay in that place. Remind yourself, you are anointed. You are favored. You are fully equipped. You don't have to do life alone. You don't have to pretend to have it all together. Just keep walking. Keep trusting. Keep believing that what's ahead is greater than what's behind. Sometimes life will try to convince you that you're too late, that you've missed your chance. But the truth is, as long as you are breathing, it's not over. You are still becoming. You are still growing. You are still learning. And everything you've been through is preparing you for what's next. Timing might not always feel right, but purpose is never rushed. You might think others are more qualified than you, more gifted, more experienced. But remember this, no one can take your place. No one else can walk the path designed for you. You are not in competition with anyone else. You are in your own lane, on your own journey, and you are equipped for it. You don't need to be someone else to succeed. You just need to be faithful to who you are and what you've been given. You've already survived things you thought would break you. You've already come through nights that were full of fear and pain. You've already overcome moments where you didn't know how you'd keep going. That's proof of the strength inside of you. That's proof that you're not weak, you're a warrior. You may have scars, but they're signs that you kept fighting. You're still here, and that means your story isn't over. You may not have all the answers, but you have what matters most. You have resilience. You have vision. You have love. You have the power to speak life into others. You have the ability to shift rooms just by showing up with authenticity and grace. Never doubt the impact of your presence. Never underestimate the power of your voice. You matter more than you know, so walk with confidence. Not because you've never been through anything, but because you've been through so much and you're still standing. Speak with boldness, not because you have all the answers, but because you know you've been called. Move forward with peace. Not because you see the whole path, but because you trust that you're not walking alone. You are anointed. You are favored. You are fully equipped. Believe it. Walk in it. Live like it. And watch what happens when you stop shrinking to fit and start rising to shine. There's a kind of confidence that cannot be shaken. It's not loud or arrogant. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't walk into a room trying to prove something. It just knows. It knows who it is and what it's here for. That kind of confidence is dangerous. Not in a harmful way, but in a powerful one. It's dangerous to fear. It's dangerous to doubt. It's dangerous to every lie that ever tried to hold you back. And it only comes from knowing your identity and your purpose. Most people struggle with confidence because they don't know who they really are. They think confidence comes from what they wear, how they look, what they've achieved, or how many people like them. All of those things can change. Looks fade. Achievements come and go. Opinions shift. If your confidence is built on things like that, it will rise and fall like the wind. Real confidence doesn't come from the outside. It comes from within. It starts with knowing your identity. When you know who you are, you stop needing others to tell you. You stop chasing approval. You stop comparing yourself. You stop trying to become someone else. You realize you were created on purpose, with purpose.
You understand that you have value just as you are.
Not because of what you do, but because of who you are. Knowing your identity means understanding that you are not a mistake. You are not the labels people gave you. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are not your failure. You are not what they said you could never be. You are more. You're a person of worth with strength and beauty that runs deeper than what the eye can see. When you know your identity, you stop shrinking. You stop hiding. You stop apologizing for taking up space. You stand tall, not because you're better than others, but because you're finally living in the truth. You recognize that you were created to make a difference, not to blend in. You begin to carry yourself with quiet power because you've realized that nothing and no one can take away what was placed inside of you. But identity alone is not enough. You also need purpose. Purpose is what gives your life meaning. It's what wakes you up in the morning and keeps you going when things get hard. It's what gives direction to your energy and intention to your time. When you know your purpose, you don't waste your life chasing everything and catching nothing. You move with focus. You live with vision. Many people walk through life feeling empty because they've never discovered their purpose. They're busy, but not fulfilled. They're successful, but still searching. But when you know your purpose, even simple things feel meaningful. Even hard days feel worth it. Because you're not just existing. You're living for something greater than yourself. When identity and purpose come together, they create dangerous confidence. You're no longer easily shaken. Criticism doesn't destroy you. Failure doesn't define you. Fear doesn't control you. You stop living for attention and start living with intention. You stop trying to fit into boxes you were never meant for. You take up your space. You walk your path. You run your race. People will notice when you carry this kind of confidence. Some will be inspired. Some will be confused. Some may feel threatened because you no longer play small to make them comfortable. But don't shrink back. Dangerous confidence is not about arrogance. It's about alignment. It's about being aligned with who you truly are and what you were truly made to do. There will be moments when you forget, moments when you feel lost or unsure. That's okay. The important thing is to come back to the truth. Remind yourself who you are. Remember what you were made for. Don't let a bad day erase what you know deep down. Confidence isn't about never struggling. It's about standing up again every time you fall. The world needs people who know who they are and why they're here. The world needs people who are no longer waiting for permission to show up fully. The world needs people who are no longer chasing validation, but are walking in purpose. The world needs people like you, people who are ready to stop surviving and start leading, building, loving, creating, serving. Dangerous confidence doesn't mean you never doubt. It means you know where to go when doubt comes. You return to your source. You return to your truth. You return to the quiet voice inside that says, you were made for more. You listen to that voice louder than the noise of the world. You trust it. You walk with it. You weren't created to live in fear. You weren't designed to stay small. You weren't placed here to be invisible. There is something unique about you, something the world needs, something only you can bring. When you discover it, hold on to it. Let it shape your life. Let it guide your choices. Let it light your path. Confidence built on identity and purpose can walk through storms and still stand strong. It can walk into unknown places and still feel grounded. It can be quiet and still be powerful. It doesn't need to shout to be heard. It doesn't need to boast to be seen. It just needs to stand in truth. And when you stand in truth, you start to shine. Not because you're perfect, but because you're real. Not because you know everything, but because you're committed to your journey. Not because you never fall, but because you always get back up. You are more than enough. You are chosen. You are gifted. You are valuable. And you are here for a reason, so walk like it. Speak like it. Live like it. Let the world feel the power of someone who knows who they are and why they're here. That's what dangerous confidence looks like. What happens when a person chooses identity over insecurity and purpose over pressure? Be the proof that you don't have to be loud to be powerful, and you don't have to be accepted to be anointed. You are not here by accident. You are not average. You are not ordinary. You are chosen. You are purposed. You are equipped. You are equipped. And when you walk in that truth, fully, unapologetically, and consistently, you become a force this world cannot ignore. This is your time. This is your moment. Walk in your identity. Move in your purpose. And let your dangerous confidence shake the very ground you stand on. Now go and be exactly who you were always meant to be.